Westinghouse Studio One. Westinghouse. Westinghouse Studio One.
Studio One. The show's opening logo might have changed over the years, but one thing remained constant. That from 1948 to 1958, viewers knew that when they saw it on their TV screens each week, they were about to be treated to perhaps the finest live drama ever brought into their homes. As a platform for launching legendary acting careers, the decade-long series was unequaled. Established performers added to their laurels. The performers who had credited Studio One for giving them their big break or for allowing them to hone their acting skills reads like a producer's wish list. This was an entertainment medium still in its infancy.
What it did was provide this group of 24-year-olds who didn't know anything about television the opportunity to invent live television. Stage actors and directors of any reputation wouldn't do television because A, it didn't really pay anything, and B, it was considered sort of tacky to do. I mean, it was just not very nice. And so that left this whole playing field spreading before a bunch of unemployed 24-year-olds. And it was marvelous. It really was. You got to do it from the top to the bottom. You start, and it's all the way through. That's a scary ride.
Truth, though, there's something very singular about you. Those quiet, grave eyes. You never laugh, Jane?
Only when I'm amused, sir.
I didn't know anything about really how to play those parts, but it was an incredible chance. How could you provide an actor or a director with a better showcase than live television?
How much is your doggy in your window? How much for that little hound dog? You're intruding, but come in.
Mr. Giles?
You have come to the right place.
I'm Bill Berkson.
Good.
Good what?
Good anything. Good you're Bill Berkson. You're glad you're Bill Berkson, aren't you?
Well, really hadn't given it much thought.
I'll try not to keep you from your desk too long.
That's all right. I like working with you.
You should. I'm probably the only person around here who really appreciates you.
It's very flattering.
Wasn't meant to be. It's just that I don't like to see a gifted girl sell herself short.
Well, I've only been here 3 years. Give me time.
You're a little late.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't figure out a tie to go with this suit.
Black, maybe, huh?
A little short.
It varies.
It's 10,000 short.
That's a big variation, my boy.
I don't want anything out of you, Dino. I just want to help you to feel better.
So why don't you give me a rub down?
Feel better? I mean to feel not so angry. Maybe to feel not so mixed up about things.
What things?
Yourself, who you are.
I'm telling you, you're just like the psychiatrist at Parkinson. I saw him one time. He's an idiot. I wanted to smack him in the brains with a bat.
If I make $16.80 every week, you know how much I'll have by Labor Day?
No? How much?
I'll have $160, plus what's already in the box. It'll come to nearly $500. $500.
You have just been listening
Sure,
to
you heard that? They're calling us the Army.
Hey, my folks, I think I better call them.
Take it easy, Buzz. They're all right.
How do you know I'm gonna call?
Trenton, New Jersey, operator. How many times do I have to tell you?
Will you please hurry?
What do you mean you can't do it? You gotta get through.
Heavy black smoke in the
The circuits are busy.
Come on, I gotta call home, too.
Hey, Charlie? Hey, where's Charlie going?
Charlie's driving home with Dave.
Well, hurry up to the phone, will you, please?
Time of the murder, 10:10. What were you doing?
Oh, that's okay. I was right there, downstairs. Yeah, they got a television screen. It's 16 inches. I was watching a fight between 10 and 11. Lots of people there. Lots of people.
Talk to anybody in particular?
One old guy.
I beg your pardon? Not supposed to drag girls into hotel rooms, not unless they want to be.
17 months before James Dean's starring role in Sentence of Death, Studio One featured John Forsythe in 10,000 Horses Singing. Look closely. The same James Dean, still an unknown, lucky to get a walk-on as a bellboy.
Yeah?
Look at me. Eyes, the chin. Huh?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on. How about the profile?
Well, maybe a little bit.
No, you dumb clown. This guy is what? He's 50, he's maybe 40.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm 20. 20 years ago, this guy could have looked just like me.
Sure, Eddie, sure.
I'm going to be like him. Only I'm going to be bigger.
Yeah? Gonna make all that money?
I know he trusted you. Thank you, sir. Well, then, can't you make this family listen to reason?
Please leave Dave out of this, Uncle Theodore.
You can't saddle Dave with our responsibilities. It isn't fair.
No, of course it isn't. Horace's children are our responsibility, not yours. We're quite ready to accept it. We've offered a reasonable solution to a difficult situation, don't you agree?
I'm afraid I have to.
Well, then, can't you pound some sense into their heads?
I'll try.
I felt very free. I loved the medium. I loved the rehearsal process going up to the moment of doing the show. I really did. Loved it. I would have stayed with live television. I never wanted to be a film director. And it was only because James Aubrey came in and canceled all the live TV shows that I ever went to film. I felt like the village blacksmith after the invention of the automobile. I felt that the cameras were a lot more flexible and a lot more mobile than the film cameras at the time. And when I went to film, I felt very, very constricted as to what I could do compared to what I could do in television.
It was a wonderful way to work and a wonderful way to make a buck instead of selling your blood or painting houses or running elevators. And I loved it. It really was a good thing. And then, of course, it was all fresh. And everybody in it was hungry.
You always have someone do your killing for you?
I'm a New York cowboy. The producer said to me before we went on the air, he said, "You don't stop being a New York cowboy." He said, "I want to kill you."
Tell me something, Darryl. Are you scared of Clinton?
No. Walt Hardy fought his own quarrels. It was none of my business.
What is your business?
Staying alive, Carl. That's all, see?
I know that the show that I did on Studio One is not good, and I'm not good in it. But there are moments. But you see, I'm growing, and I see the moments that I learned from.
You ain't decent, Darryl. You don't belong on the far side of the fence.
Everybody's got a little decency in them, Jack. Maybe mine's beginning to show.
They tried to say something.
Let me take them now.
Let's make it more important than just a Western. Let's try to say something. And I liked it for that reason.
I remember that play. He's the baseball player, and I'm the little wife, and he wants to play ball, and I don't want him to.
What's the matter?
Go ahead, pitch some more. It's fascinating. You're very graceful.
Thank you.
I thought it had a charm to it. But I never got to see it because it was live. They were on kinescopes, as you know, but we never saw them. That was just to keep a record. Then they were all burned. The president of CBS many years ago told me that he was just sick. They had burned everything.
You see, when we did live television, there wasn't a choice. It wasn't like, well, if we don't do it live, let's do it on tape, or let's do it on film, because you couldn't. I don't think you'd do it out of choice, because too many things can go wrong.
They called it two things. They called it the golden age of television, and they also called it a vast wasteland. So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
The ratings were not king. I mean, they were important, but it wasn't all. And then they became that, and that's what really knocked everything out.
Right.
I didn't really leave television. Television quit on us. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a job, so I became a movie director.
I'm lucky. I'm luckier than I am proud. I mean, I know I worked with the best and had the best time. I mean, it was exciting, and I knew it then. Not in retrospect. I knew it then.
Join us next Monday when Westinghouse Studio One presents Strange Companion, the story of a lonely house and a frightened woman, starring Peggy Ann Garner, Kathleen Nesbitt, with Lawrence Hugo. Good night.